Madam Mayor, we are live and recording. You can begin the meeting whenever you wish.
Great, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Welcome everybody to our regular council meeting of March 4th. Before we begin, just some housekeeping, a reminder that the meeting is being recorded and live streamed via the Township's YouTube channel. We do have participants who are joining us from both Zoom as well as from within the chambers. So as is always the case, council, please raise your hand if you'd like to speak on a matter. I'll call on you at the appropriate time. We'll begin with calling the roll. We have Deputy Mayor Nelson.
Present.
Councilor Watt.
Present.
Present. Online, we have Councilor Brevoort.
Present.
We have our CIO, Mr. Todd Davis.
Present.
And our clerk, Martina Chiaparro. Good afternoon. And Deputy CIO, me, as well as our treasurer. Treasurer, Paul Kummer. And CDO Don Helleman, as well as our manager of parks and recreation. Okay, so with quorum council in attendance, I will call the meeting to order, beginning with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the lands which are part of the 1818 Treaty 20 and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe bands of the Great Ojibwe Nation. We offer our gratitude to the Ojibwe for their care and knowledge of the lands on which we work, live, and enjoy. May we honor and respect their teaching and our treaty obligations as we grow together. We will pause for a moment of silent reflection and also a moment of silence in memory for Robert Bob Cornelius Allen, otherwise known as Bobby Allen, who was a Douro Township was a councillor of Reeve and also the warden for the county of Peterborough in 1983. So we'll pause for a moment of silence, please. Okay, and I believe Councillor Johnston, you wanted to say a few words?
To the chair, thank you. Yeah, I just want to say a few words about Bobby Allen. He was one of my best friends. He grew up in Durham, never left Durham. And he worked at the Canadian General Electric, then he got on the council, like was said earlier. Then he went up through the rooms and was the mayor at the time, and then he also then went out to clerk in a township in the Douro ward. And he was a very, I must say, he was a community man in every way in the word. He was very instrumental on the Douro ballpark, which we last year celebrated 50 years. They bought that piece of property, he was involved in that heavily. And then the Douro Arena. He, with a group of us, he got on stream and we went for a material grant, got half the money, and we went to the Douro Arena. And then he, as I say, his majority of all the things he done for the community, especially the Douro ward. He was a great man, and I really appreciate and thank him for the time that I can say some good words about him. I'm also, and at this time, I can't lose sight of saying good words about all council that has come before us, that have passed or just been off in the Douro and Dummer ward. We kind of forget as time goes on, but I think we always have to remember the ones before us. So I really want to say that too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnston, for your kind words, and of course our condolences to friends and family of Bobby Allen. Also, just of note, we want to pass our condolences on to Councillor Brevoort, whose mother, Linda Sippel, passed away on February 11th. I could say personally, Adam, many times she would attend our council meetings, and to be able to look out into the gallery and see her smiling face, and whether she agreed or not, it was always a warm and welcoming sight. And we'll miss her, and my condolences for your loss and for your family as well.
Thank you.
Okay, And also, shifting gears slightly, I saw that we have a dignitary enter the chambers, Deputy Mayor Jim Whalen. Hello, from North Kawartha Township, and also County Councilor. And so I believe you're here today to be the county representative for the public meeting that we're going to be opening up shortly. So welcome.
Hi.
On to the agenda. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest from council? Seeing, hearing nothing. Could I please get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Deputy Mayor Nelson, second by Councilor Johnston, all in favor? And that motion carries. Did you guys put your hands up, Jen? Have you ever done? I think it carried. And then we only have one item on consent, which is the Peterborough County Council. Oh, right, I jumped out. Sorry about that. Item 6.1 are regular council meetings for approval. So we want to move those. Councilor Plott, second by Councilor Johnston. Any discussion? All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you. Now on to consent agenda. Item 7.1 County Peterborough Council meeting minutes from February 5th. Any motions on that to receive the consent agenda? Deputy Mayor Nelson, second by Councilor Report. Thank you. All in favor? And that motion carries. Okay, on to delegations, petitions, presentations, or public meetings. We do have a certificate presentation for the longstanding commitment award to present to Paul McMahon and family of Starfruit Thieves. They won the longstanding commitment award from Peterborough County Cattlemen Association. I know we were hoping to get Paul here for a photo, but he did say it was going to be weather contingent. So if he does end up making it in, we'll welcome him in the agenda at that point in time. But in the meantime, we congratulate Paul and on his accomplishment and thank him for the work that he's done in the community and as an employer and a dedicated family. On to, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. On to the public meeting. We have an OP official plan amendment file, Shaughnessy Duque. So we're just looking for a motion to open the public meeting. Deputy Mayor Nelson, second by Councilor Johnston, all in favor. And that motion carries. And I will at this time welcome Diana Key, who I believe is joining us on Zoom from DM Wells Associates. Hello.
Hello, Mayor Watson.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank
so
you.
And I will turn it over to you to introduce the file.
Thank you so much. Through you, Mayor Watson, good evening to you, members of council staff, and the public. I'd like to thank you for having me here this evening. Just a little bit of an introduction because I am new. So my name is Diana Kay. I'm the Principal Planner and Manager of Planning Services at DM Wells Associates Limited. And we have been fortunate enough to recently been retained by the Township to provide interim planning services until such time as the Township has hired an in-house planner. So thank you for having me and look forward to working with this team. And I'm trying to get in to see you in person quite soon. So look forward to that as well. So the matter at hand before you this evening is an official plan amendment. The file number is 15OP-24005 and the planning report 2005-07. Sorry, that should be 2025. I'm going back in time. Let's not do that. And the report has the following recommendations as for council to receive the report, for council to receive all comments related to the official plan amendment, and for council to advise the county that the township supports the official plan amendment with which represents amendment number 79 to the county official plan. I can see that the agent Kevin Dugue is here on behalf of the owners, Tom and Brenda Shaughnessy, and will provide a brief overview of the application. The application proposes to redesignate a portion of the property located at 181 County Road 4 from the Highway Commercial and Special Policy Area 6.2.10.4 CI designations to the rural designation, and the purpose is to facilitate the creation of 2 new residential lots by way of consent to sever. The Official plan was deemed complete by the county on December 17th, 2024. However, as this is an amendment to the local component of the county official plan, the township is responsible for hosting the public meeting. Notice of the application was circulated in accordance with the Planning Act. Notice of this meeting was provided in the Peterborough Examiner on February 14th, 2025, and a copy of this notice is also attached to the planning report. This notice is also available on both township and county websites and was circulated to the prescribed persons and public bodies, both via email and regular mail. Senior staff from the township were circulated on comments, and we only received one comment from the manager of public works, confirming that he has no concerns with the proposed shared driveway entrance to the proposed new lots. The portion of the property subject to the official plan amendment is currently zoned rural. And according to the applicant, the lot area and frontage of the proposed new lots will meet the requirements of the zoning bylaw, and so an amendment is not requested at this time. However, this information will need to be confirmed at the time of the consent to sever application to ensure that there's continued compliance with the zoning bylaw when the actual severance is applied for. I'd also like to introduce that in attendance this evening to speak to the official plan amendment is Jennifer Kleinsmith, planner for the County of Peterborough. Also introduced Jim Whalen, Deputy Mayor of North Kawartha, and the County Council Public Hearing Representative on planning matters. And so Ms. Kleinsmith will be providing you with a brief overview of the official plan amendment process, including the peer review of the supporting documents and any comments received to date. She's also available to assist with any questions that council or the public may have with respect to this file. And with that, I will turn it back to you, Mayor Watson.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Ms. Kay. So who do we have to speak up next? You've referenced that we've got Mr. Duguay, I see on the screen. We've got Jennifer Kleinsmith from the county and the applicants. So is there anybody, Ms. Kay, that specifically you want to invite to speak at this moment, or should we just open it to members of the public to speak?
I believe that we should probably have Ms. Kleinsmith, if she's available, just to give an overview from the county's perspective, as they are the approval authority.
If you want, come on up. Sure.
Mayor, good evening, everyone. As you are aware, the County of Peterborough is the approval authority for amendments to the county official plan. Today's public meeting is being held to consider an application to amend the county official plan, but more specifically the local component of the plan, which contains the land use policies for Douro-Dummer Township. As Diane has noted, the application, which has been assigned file 15 OP-24005, is for lands located at 181 County Road 4 in Douro Ward. The application was received in November 2024 by Kevin Duguay on behalf of the owners Tom and Brenda Shaughnessy. The Planning Act requires that at least one public meeting be held for OPs or official plan amendments in order to provide the public with information on the proposal and to solicit public input. The official plan currently designates these lands as highway, commercial, and rural. A portion of the subject land is also within the site-specific special policy area and subject to the provisions of section 6.2.10.4 CI of the official plan. The effect of the OPA will be changing the portion of the subject property that is currently designated highway commercial within that special policy area to rural to facilitate the creation of 2 residential lots. And the current designation currently prohibits residential uses as a primary use, which is the driver for it in the this OPA. As a housekeeping note, the intent of the original application was also to delete the special policy, the site-specific special policy area in its entirety from the OP. However, upon further review, we did note that the highway commercial designation does apply to a small single residential lot that's located at 800 Daleview Road. The timing of those lots, that Daleview Road lot, was created just before the adoption of the 1994 Douro official plan, which is where we think the application of that designation was made. So just as a note, we have flagged that residual designation on a residential lot as a candidate for a future housekeeping amendment once the county OP has been approved by the province. Another note is the applicant did provide a plan and justification note, report and natural heritage evaluation. However, the MAG was triggered by the policies that were contained in the growth plan, and with the repeal of the growth plan in October 2024, that report was received, but the policies are no longer applicable, so it was not peer reviewed. And another, if the OPA is approved, the applicant will still be required to apply for severances through the severance approval process with the county. Prescribed agencies were circulated for their input, and prescribed notice was given for both the complete application and the notice of complete meeting. Agency comments were received from Enbridge, KPR, DSB, County Public Works, and Kentucky Conservation. None of whom had any objections or concerns for the application, and there have been no submissions to the county from members of the public. The next steps in the process is that the county is looking for Township Council for a recommendation on the official plan amendment. Once received, the county will prepare a planning report for county council, which will consider all relevant OP and provincial policies, as well as public and agency comments. Once the county council has made a decision, a notice of decision will be provided in accordance with the Planning Act, and that decision will then become final if there are no appeals within the 20-day appeal period. If any member of the public wishes to receive a notice of decision for this application, then a written request must be made to the county. The notes that I have for you are also available to answer any questions if there are.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clancy. Any questions from council at this juncture? Thank you very much. We'll circle back if there's anything else that bubbles up. Okay, so at this point, we're going to open the floor for the public, unless Mr. Jugay, you'd like to speak on behalf of your client.
Your worship, I would like to provide a few comments. I'd like to start by thanking Diana Kay for her introductory remarks. I'd like to acknowledge, in addition to yourself and your council, Deputy Mayor Whalen's attendance. Hello, Jim. And to thank Jennifer Kleinsmith for her presentation. For council's benefit, this application process started in early 2021. And that comment is not to suggest that there hasn't been collaboration and communication with county and township. Suffice to say that when we started initially with the severance inquiry, which gave rise to a need to amend an official plan, amend your official plan, primarily at the time as a consequence of the special policy area designation applied to the northern portion of the property. Mr. Shaughnessy, Tom Shaughnessy, I believe is in attendance in the room. One of his neighbors provided Tom with a copy of a newspaper article that indicated the intent of that special policy area was to permit a commercial plaza. So that special policy area designation has remained quietly simmering in the background for many years. And as a consequence of the severance inquiry, of which Brenda and Tom Shaughnessy, my client, simply wish to create 2 lots intended for their children's use, we were required to amend the official plan to delete the special policy area designation, and there are other related matters to permit and facilitate the intention of creating 2 residential lots. You will note, if you have considered the layout and configuration of lots, that there would be no vehicular access from the county road. It would be from the interior road, Daleview, and that we're proposing a singular driveway. And associated thus with the consent applications will be a requisite right-of-way. It's our intention, your worship, council members, to proceed with the consent to sever application. And I believe there may still be a rezoning might be a rezoning application, but those related applications, they would follow immediately on the cusp and heel of what I believe will be the favorable approval of the official plan amendment application. There was a natural heritage evaluation analysis completed, no issues or concerns with respect to its findings, and particularly addressed the location of the severed lots. MDS was deemed not applicable, and an aggregate assessment was flagged early days, but it pertained to a tertiary resource at the bottom portion, south part of the property, which was deemed not also to be applicable. So having said that, I've read the staff report. I've certainly, on behalf of my clients, are in agreement with the recommendations. And I would like to thank the staff that have been involved with this file to date, because there have been many as a consequence of staff turnover, but there have been many that have been involved, and I'd like to thank them for their respective contributions. I make myself available at this time for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duguay. Any questions at this point from council? Okay, seeing nothing, I think this is the part where I open the floor for any members of the public who would like to comment or ask questions on the application. Anyone in the public who wants to comment on this? Madam Clerk, can you confirm if there's anybody online?
There's no one online.
Okay. Last call for comments from the public. Seeing nothing? Oh, sorry. Oh, Councilor Ward, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Watson. Through you, I think I may have just jumped the gun. I was just going to make a motion to close the public meeting.
Well, that is exactly what I was going to ask for, Councilor, so I will accept that motion. Does anyone want to second that motion? Deputy Mayor Nelson, all in favor? And that motion carries. So lastly, then we simply need a motion, if council so chooses, to receive the report and comments that we received, as well as sending a letter of support for the OPA to Peter County. Councilor Watt is making that motion. Thank you. And seconded by Councilor Johnston. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Whalen, you're welcome to stay, but I feel like you're going to depart.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Well, you're always welcome at Douro-Dummer.
I meeting at 9 o'clock this morning and ended at 1:30, so I think I'll go home.
Fair enough.
Nice to see you all.
Good seeing you
Thanks,
as well.
Jen.
It was quite smooth as well. On to item number 9, public comment period. We had no registered delegations for today's meeting. So into staff reports, item 10.1, which is the 2025 budget approval. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Creamer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In front of yourself and council is report treasurer 2025-4 regarding 2025 budget approval. There is one item that kind of making sure we captured everything correctly. We did identify that was missed in the deliberation meeting, and that was the request for the conversion of a seasonal Parks and Recreation employee to full-time at a cost of $8,577. So we require direction on that item. The motion in front of council is that council approve the tax levy needed for the 2025 budget in the amount of $7,395,601. And that staff be requested to bring forward a tax rate bylaw for approval. The tax rate bylaw is what will establish the tax rates. We do this after the county passes theirs, so we include the county rates and there's a fulsome bylaw. It's also done post this meeting, just to capture that final amount that we have direction from council. So at this time, hand it back to council for any questions, comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kramer. Any questions, staff? Councilor Johnston?
I just got the question now, seeing that it was missed, if we accept that new full-time employee, and what kind of money are we looking at, and how is that going to change our life?
Through Madam Mayor, Councilor Johnson, the amount is for 8,577. The numbers shown include that amount. If this motion is not approved, staff would adjust the total amount to reflect that it is not included. With that amount included, the percent increase is 6.2%.
Councilor Johnson, any follow-up questions on that?
No, well, that's good, thanks.
Sorry, any other questions from council on this? Seeing nothing. Councilor Watt?
I will make a motion that we go ahead with the full-time thing. It does, as was explained out in our previous meetings and so on and so forth, it does save the back and forth, trying to lose someone, trying to train something. We'll probably lose more than that money in training if we don't take a move now. And the extra $8,000, I am willing to approve and put the person on full-time.
Okay, Councilor, so the recommendation, if you're willing, if that's a motion, thank you. The recommendation encompasses that, but also looks at receiving the report and approving the budget. Are you?
Yes.
So do you want to give the, and then that staff bring forward the tax rate bylaw, like we do 4 points in the motion, so you want to make that motion?
That will be perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone want to second that motion? Deputy Mayor Nelson, any discussion on the motion? Councilor Johnson?
Through the chair, once again, I'm going to vote in favor, but even though, like I do stress, I did all the way through, that, we gotta do what the best we can for our taxpayers, because we never know what's going to go on, just like what's on today. So the thing is, and I do know it's getting harder and harder, and it's going to get harder and harder now with what's going on with the US and Canada as far as these tariffs that go on. But I do suggest that we always look to a bottom line and trying to get along with what we got, and we got with what we got. And even though everything is going up crazy, a little bit crazy. But anyways, I'm saying that I just want to say that again, and said that all the way through, that we want to be the best for our taxpayers. Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Johnston. Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing nothing, I'll just add to this. First of all, I do want to thank staff for getting us to this point. It's been a fulsome discussion around the budget, leading up to the budget and to the presentation, right through to the workshop. Working session that we had, and I know and respect and appreciate the amount of time, not just our finance department, Mr. Kramer, but all of the managers and support staff to get us here. So fundamentally, thank you so much for that work. I do want to also point out in the report, the 6.2% levy that we're looking at does consist of roughly not roughly, going by the notes here, 4.4% of actual township costs specifically, and then there's an additional 0.7% that's due to boards and agencies. So the OPP policing budget, as an example, would be one of those driving factors. But then on top of that, we do have a 1% capital levy that this council had approved some time ago to fund the joint building, being the new fire hall and public works facility that, you know, this council is very aware of, working on making sure that we have the capital funds to be able to build that, you know, more so when it comes time to start making those payments and progress is being made on that file as we speak. So the 6.2%, you know, although it is a large number, it does include those other pieces, which is part of that driving cost. So on that, again, I thank staff for your work to get us here. Paul, thank you very much, and also Todd and managers on behalf of council. And just looking for calling the vote now, I guess, at this time. All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you. On to item 10.2, future hiring committee appointment for the deputy fire chief and Madam Clerk, you're going to handle this one. Understand.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is just a short report to council. As part of the 2025 budget deliberations, council had approved a one-year contract for the role of deputy fire chief. While the budget has not been passed by bylaw, staff are preparing for the upcoming recruitment process for the position. As the deputy chief role is a management role, the township's hiring policy requires that a member of council be appointed to sit on the committee. And this report is before you to ask council to provide us with that appointment so that we can begin preparing.
Great, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Does anybody want to, Deputy Mayor Nelson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I might speak on that, if I would like to ask if Ray Johnson would like to accept that appointment or be in the running for that if you would.
To the chair, thanks, Earl. Yeah, I would definitely sit on that committee. Like the other ones, but interested too.
Thank you both. Does anybody else want to volunteer for this role? So seeing nobody else jumping up for that, just looking for a seconder on that motion. Councillor Watt, any discussion? This is your last chance, Councillor Johnston, to. Yeah, Councillor Verboord, get your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Watson. Just raise my hand to second the motion.
Okay. But we just lost, you're good, okay. So we're all good, all in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you, Councillor Johnston, for to sit on that. On to item 10.3, amendment to the 2025 council meeting schedule. Again, Madam Clerk, this one's over you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is another short report. The procedural bylaw directs staff to bring forward the proposed council meeting schedule for approval no later than November 30th of the upcoming year. The Ontario Grid Growers Association annual conference will be held on March 30th until April 2nd, with various events held the evening of each day. That means that we would not be available to have quorum for the scheduled April 1st meeting. So I'm just bringing this to council's attention and recommending that council cancel the April 1st meeting and post a notice on the township website.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Any questions to staff on the report that's before us? Then I will look to take a motion. Councillor Johnston, seconded by Councillor Verboord. There we go. Any discussion? All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you very much. On to correspondence, starting with the item 12.1, Eastern Wardens Caucus, UWC, and others. We'll just say in response to a call for by Canadian strategy in response to U.S. tariffs. What would you like to do with this, Council? Councillor Johnston?
I'll make the motion.
When I saw your hand up, were you looking to second that motion?
Yes, please.
All right. Any discussion on that? All in favor? And that motion carries. On to 12.2, Township of McGarry. Resolution regarding amendments to Ontario Village Code. Deputy Mayor Nelson?
I'll move to receive that report.
All right. Anyone want to second that? Councilor Watt? Any discussion? All in favor? And that motion carries. Item 12.3, Douro-Dummer local taxpayers comments regarding the budget deliberations. Council, what would you like to do with that? Councilor Johnson?
I'll make the motion to receive.
Okay. Anyone want to second that? Councilor Watt? Any discussion? Councillor Watt?
Thank you. Yeah. Carry my part. This is fine. I don't mind doing this. It's kind of, we've already passed things, so it's just one of those things we received. But I was kind of curious when I read it. Who are the Douro-Dummer local taxpayers? It'd be nice to know, because I went through all the rest of these here, and there's names attached to who put them in, who didn't. It's just a curiosity thing. I kind of have not a bad feeling, but I mean, anybody in the world could put something in and call themselves a name like that. And, you know, if it was a name attached to even one, we know it was somebody in our township, it could have been somebody from Douro, it could have been somebody from Havelock. I mean, I'm guessing it isn't, but I'm just saying it could be, so I just want to throw that comment out there.
Thank you for your comments. Councillor Johnston, did you have your hand up? Did you want to speak?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just want to make a comment that this was on the last council meeting, and we did receive it. We all have read the information that was sent to us. And I do want to thank, Tom said, I'm not going to say it, but I do want to thank the public for their interest in responding to our budget.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson, for pointing that out. And yes, to confirm, we did receive the correspondence prior to our last meeting and didn't make the agenda. But any other comments before we call the vote on that? All in favor? And that motion carries. On to municipality Trent Lakes issues affecting Ontario's waterfront communities. This is item 12.4. Council, what would you like to do with that? Councillor Watt?
Motion received and support.
Second that, Councillor Johnston. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor? And that carries. Town of Holton Hills, item 12.5, resolution regarding Ontario's deposit return program. What would you like to do with this? Councillor Johnston,
Just make a motion to receive.
to receive.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to second that motion?
Sorry.
Deputy Mayor Nelson. Any discussion? Councillor Watt?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I've read it and I read it again. I don't know whether it doesn't really explain out what they want. As far as I could read anyhow, exactly what they want done, what they don't want done as far as heritage. So,
Oh, different, I think that's a different item.
did I miss something?
This is, yeah.
All of it.
12.5?
Yeah.
I think you're speaking to 12.6.
Oh, I'm the wrong one. Sorry. Yes, I am. My fault.
Okay, Councillor Johnston.
I mean, I'm not against supporting it by no means. But the thing is, they've done this before and it never really got off. And we do know this pop with cans and bottles and pop cans, all this stuff around. But I think till we really want to put some teeth in how we're going to collect it and what we're going to do, I think it's receive it. I would support it if I knew a little bit more about how they would run it.
That's a thoughtful comment, thank you. Deputy Nelson.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I agree with just receiving it. The province has actually put it back on the producers to decide what they're going to do with all of that recyclable stuff. And I guess it's, who are we to say you want to do whatever? It's kind of up to the producers are paying for it. So that's my comments. I think we just be wise to just receive it.
Okay, well, we do have a motion to receive on the floor. Councillor Watt, do you have a question or comments?
Just a comment if I could, please. Yeah, as most know, my parents owned a store in Warsaw for many years, and you always had pop bottles coming back. So you have to have a special place to put them, and they own them, and the money back for it. Like a lot of people now get cans of pop and cans of whatever with their grocery stuff like that. I don't think these big grocery stores are going to want to be back and forth, trying to give out change or trying to, cash in bottles, or somebody just comes in off the street with a bag full of them like that. I don't think we're quite ready for this without a little more substance to it yet.
Okay, thank you. So we do have a motion motion to receive has been made and duly seconded. So we'll call for the vote. All in favor? And that motion carries. Thank you. Now item 12.6, Town of Niagara Lake. I feel like Councillor Watt, you should be the first over the floor on this one since you have some comments.
Yes, I will make a motion to receive it because there's not really enough information there to take it further as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, So motion to receive, seconded by Councillor Verboort.
Yes, please.
Discussion on that? All in favor? And that motion carries. On to item 12.7, the Douro-Dummer local taxpayers request an article regarding corruption in local government. Council, what would you like to do with this? Seeing nothing, Deputy Mayor?
I move that we don't receive.
Okay, I think procedurally, Madam Clerk, just confirm if we want to not receive it, do we need a motion or do we just not receive it?
You can do it either way.
Oh, okay.
Or just procedural bylaw.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, motion to not receive. Does anyone want to second that motion? Councillor Verboort? Any discussion? All in favor? And that motion carries. On to item 13, bylaws. We have none. No reports from notices of motion. Are there any notices of motion from council? Nothing. On to announcements. Always looking to Councillor Johnston. We usually have one or two things to announce.
Remind people that we are having our beef auction in April for the Lions in Warsaw. So if anybody wants to be involved or get tickets for it, we still have some available.
And Councillor Johnson, that was April 26th, I believe, as well.
I'll tell you right now, I got tickets in my pocket. So the end of the auction, 26.
And that's at the town hall here.
To support the Lions.
Are you looking for auction items as well?
Yeah, are we looking for item auctions? Yes, we're always looking for item auctions.
Auction items and ticket sales. All right. Thank you very much. Any other announcements from council? Seeing nothing, we have no closed session. On to item 20, just confirming bylaw. Councillor Watt, seconded by Councillor Report, all in favor. And that motion carries. So our next regular council meeting is March 18th. Simply motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Nelson, seconded by Councillor Johnston, all in favor. And that carries.